Hello. Just waiting. Hello. Just waiting. Waiting for somebody to come in. I got my thing. I should have some kind of music playing in the background so it's not quiet. Try to give folks at least one or two people time to come in before I start talking. I'm gonna go in and start so it's not quiet for too long. How was everybody's weekend? Hi there. So I tell you that people need to seek a relationship with their authentic selves. And the reason why I say that because I think women, especially brown women, are still somewhat shamed, especially by other brown people. They're shamed for being single. And my thing is, from everybody's observation, brown women have a serious issue with self love. Brown women have a serious issue with self love, and this is not to put down anybody because it starts from somewhere. It's not just they don't have it. They don't have an issue with self love just because they are brown women. It comes from somewhere, and usually it starts from the doggone root because of something going on as a child. Not it didn't start when they grew up. And it also doesn't help that you already are rooted in self-hate because you could be raised by somebody else who have self-hate. Okay. It doesn't help that you might grow up in a community where other people have a lot of self-hate and it's constantly projected on each other. And then you live in a nation that demonizes you nonstop. It's really hard to kind of have self-love when you are constantly told that you're nothing. And this is what I'm talking about. People need to have a relationship with their authentic selves so they can realize that somebody else's opinion does not matter because really there is nobody else outside of you. But it's hard to see that when you're constantly looking for some kind of validation that comes on the outside when the outside does not even exist. And sometimes when people are constantly in relationships, it's some kind of validation that's needed that comes in. That's basically it's like when people criticize somebody for believing in Jesus Christ. Well, I don't believe in I don't want to believe in a man either, right? Because I'm at that's third dimension. I'm gonna speak from my point of view. Believing in a man coming to save you is third dimension. Because you're looking on the outside instead of the inside. So when you think somebody's coming back to part the clouds and you look up in the sky, you're 3D. You're 3D bound because the Christ is from the inside. Okay, but what I'm saying is you have some people that want to criticize folks who believe in certain things, but then turn around and I'm talking about some people. A lot of people have done this in the brown community or black community over the years. It's not just one person. It's constant. Brown women who are single are constantly being put down because they're criticized for being independent because they don't have a man. So you just think you're independent. Meanwhile, every other woman, it's okay for them to be single. I've been said that the focus is constantly on the brown woman. For some reason she always need to be distracted. Why can't she focus on herself? Maybe she chooses to be single because she realized that she has a problem with self-love. And throwing yourself into a relationship is not going to help if you haven't learned what you need to learn. Because you're just going to attract what you are. And so if you have not really learned to really authentically love yourself, you're going to keep attracting your shadow, and the same thing is going to keep happening. So why continue to rush to be in these relationships knowing that you are not really, you're not fully delivered? Okay. So basically, that's what I'm talking about. You have people who criticize folks who believe in some kind of outside deity that's going to come back and save them. But on the same token, want to ask the question, why are you single? I don't understand why people in other folks' business like that. I would get offended when somebody asks me that question. I don't like that question. Don't ask me about what I do as an adult. Why do you eat chicken? Why do you eat beef? Why do you eat spaghetti? Why do you eat cucumbers? Okay, like as an adult, I don't really care for those kind of questions on what I choose to do with my life as an adult. I don't feel like anybody else needed to approve of my decisions. Okay. I don't know. That's why some people who are really working on themselves, like really, really, really doing the internal work on themselves, and some people who are really doing the internal work, most of the time they don't really have a choice. Now, sometimes you just like to get away and you like peace and you like to, but when you really, really working hard on yourself, you done been through some stuff. For a lot of people, it's one thing to every now and then go to a retreat and get back to yourself and love. It's one thing, because a lot of people do that, right? But it's another thing to go hard at it every single day, nonstop working on yourself. That means you done been through some stuff and you still going through some stuff. And only way it's going to end is if you continue to do the doggone work, because it ain't going to stop until you finish the job. And people who are going through that, why rush into a relationship? I don't even want a friendship with nobody, because I feel like my shadow is the doggone problem. And my shadow right now continues to want to sabotage me. So why even look for somebody else? But at the same time, I don't want to have to explain that to somebody unless I choose to do it. I don't want nobody to ask me no questions. Don't ask me no question as an adult. I'm like half a century. Like, I don't have to explain that. I'm half a century years old. About there. I'm pretty much there. Might as well say I'm a half a century. I don't have to explain that. I don't have to, well, you independent. What the heck are you talking about? See, that right there, that don't make sense either. It's good to have a partner to help pay the bills, but you want to have the right partner with you. You don't want anybody to pull you down spiritually. You don't want to just get somebody because they're going to help you pay your bills, because you might bring in the wrong person that's going to be a doggone handler or an agent. But so why bring that into your life just so somebody else can help pay the bills? It's almost like you're selling your soul just so you can bring somebody else in that can help pay the bills. I'd rather just go on and do what I have to do to pay my bills instead of bringing somebody else in who's going to be a doggone handler or an agent, some kind of spy. A lot of people, if you and a lot of people say, well, I want somebody who loves God, or however you say it, because God don't have to be no physical person. Sometimes the God people might be worshiping could be Kronos. It could be the God of Saturn, but whatever it is, some people who were into the occult actually do worship that God. Okay? It's not just about Christianity. A lot of people who's deep into the occult do worship the Saturn God, but I don't want to get into that kind of talk. My point is that when you say you want somebody who loves God, in the case of me, I'm talking about your soul, who you truly are, your highest truth. I don't know what that looks like, because that comes from within. I can't put no physical features on that. But when you want somebody who truly loves God, you have to be in that type of frequency yourself. And if you're not there, you're wanting somebody to come, you're wanting somebody that you're not. Because somebody who has made it to that point where whether it's a man or a woman, somebody who has made it to that type of frequency, you're not going to be able to align with. You would not meet that person because you're not going to be in a vibrational alignment to even meet with them. So when you keep saying you want these things, you have to align with what you're saying that you want. And if you're not aligning with what you say that you want, there's more work to do. So why rush into a relationship? Okay. So anyway, I just feel like talking about that really, really quickly. Like, why? No, there's no need to be in a rush to get somebody, and they don't even love themselves. They don't want. They're not interested in letting go of this world. Another thing is bringing somebody who is tethered to this realm. Some people are tethered to this realm because this is the underworld. This is, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not even a material world. Like, it's not even like the physical world. The physical world is still above ground. This is the underworld. This is like the afterlife. Some people for some reason don't get that. And that's another reason why I say, why rush into a relationship when you're in the underworld? That means that if you're in the underworld, that's the afterlife. That means somewhere you died. Somewhere in the physical world, you died. This is the underworld. That's the afterlife. Somewhere in the physical world, you died. Why even rush into a relationship with somebody else is not crossing over? Because now it's time to cross over. And if you have meet somebody who's tethered to this world because they might be able to pay your bills, or because they might look nice a certain way, or just so you say you have somebody, but they're tethered to this realm, they're tethered to this world. So you're not even going to really be able to move up spiritually because you're going to be connected to them. It's like, it doesn't make much sense at all. And so how are you guys doing? But yeah, what else I want to say? I just felt like talking about that really quickly. What else you want to say? The stuff that's on the news, I don't watch the news, but I've decided that I don't want to give too much attention to what politicians are doing or what they are doing. And because people love to say, while you're being distracted with so-and-so, and a lot of times with something that's going on with celebrities that's caused distractions, right? And so they say, well, while you're distracted with that, the governor passed this bill. They passed, and it's like, I heard somebody else say, and if you knew about it, what were you going to do? It's not a distraction because you're not doing anything to stop them. Like, they're going to pass the bill anyway, regardless of whatever. You're distracted with going to work. You're distracted with paying bills. To me, that's the biggest distraction. Going to work, having to pay bills, or however you do it, even if you have your business, some kind of way you're still busy. That's the biggest distraction of all, is having to pay a doggone bill, because you have to constantly make sure you're constantly in debt. You're constantly owed. You constantly have to pay a debt. It's never ending. That's the biggest distraction of all, more than something that's going on with D'Angelo and Snoop Dogg. Okay. But I've decided it's best to focus more on myself. Because people don't realize how much power they have within them, and it's because we have given our power away to somebody else that we think is in charge, that we think make all the rules, but we don't understand we might just be more powerful than they are, but because they are in so much control, because we've given them so much power, we can't see that. We just do it. We have to go wherever they take us, and that's why it's like, no, it's time to go within and focus on myself. But anyway, I just felt like talking about that really quickly. It's best to have a relationship with your authentic self. But I didn't have much to talk about. I just felt like talking about that really quickly and just going live real quick, because I know I don't do it too often. But anyway, you guys take care, and I will talk to you later.